Hello viewers, today I am going to tell you about the biography and the great contribution of Pandit D.V. Paluskar, who was one of those rare musicians who had reached the peak of fame while still he was in his 20s. He represented basically Gwalior Gharana and synthesized into it the bright features of other gharanas. He was an excellent khayal singer and was very well acclaimed in his rendering of bhajans. He proved himself the worthy son of the worthy father in his very short lifespan. Let's know in detail about the life and the great contribution of Pandit D.V. Paluskar. Background and early life. Popularly known as D.V. Paluskar's full name was Dattatreya Vishnu Paluskar. He was the only son of the great maestro of Gwalior Gharana and the great reformer of music education in India, Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar. D.V. Paluskar was born to Pandit Paluskar in the sunset of Pandit Paluskar's life in 1921. By then, Pandit Paluskar had lost his 11 children in their infancy. These tragedies had turned Panditji away from all the worldly things, and he devoted himself fully to his music and his favorite deity, Lord Rama. When Dattatreya was born on May 18, 1921 in Krundwad, initially Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar was not emotionally tied to him, assuming that the ill fate might snatch him away too. So for almost 1 year, the mother and the child stayed away in the child's grandfather's house. Later, when Pandit Paluskar's own guru, Balkrishna Bua Ichilkaranjikar, showered the blessings on the infant, then only Pandit Vishnu Digambar accepted the child emotionally, and both the mother and the child were brought to Nasik, where Panditji lived in those days. Training in music. When Dattatreya, who was nicknamed Bapu Rao by his relatives and friends, was very young, Panditji himself began the music lessons of Bapu Rao. Panditji found the young Bapu Rao very talented and bright, but due to Pandit Vishnu Digambar's frequent performing tours, he could not train him. Panditji entrusted his own nephew Chintamani Paluskar with the task of giving regular training to little Bapu Rao. But whenever Panditji was in Nasik, he himself gave the hours of training to Bapu Rao in sargams, paltas and various rags. In 1931, when Bapu Rao was only 10, he lost his father, Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar. But the young Bapu Rao, however, was deeply aware of his father's greatness. Therefore, he was determined to pursue his father's mission. His mother Ramabai, Pandit Paluskar's wife, first took him to their relative Chintamani Paluskar to continue his training. For further advanced training, he was brought to Pandit Narayan Rao Vyas, Pandit Paluskar's very brilliant disciple and an excellent performer. But due to Narayan Rao's busy performing schedule, he could not devote much of his time for training. Finally, Bapu Rao's mother brought him to Pune for grooming under Pandit Vinayak Rao Patwardhan, another distinguished disciple of Pandit Paluskar. Pandit Patwardhan spared no pains on his part to groom his revered guru's brilliant son. By the age of 14, he had learned nearly 350 compositions in 40 or 50 rags. Thus, Dattatreya became the most accomplished musician through the years of rigorous and systematic training. Thus, he was prepared to perform in the world of music in his 20s only. His performances. Dattatreya gave his debut performance in Harivallabh Sangeet Sammelan in 1935. It was such a big success that he was booked for conferences and concerts all over the country and became one of the most popular broadcasters in his times. Pandit Vishnu Digambar's large number of disciples scattered all over Maharashtra, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Bengal welcomed the accomplished young talented son of their guru, and they rejoiced in his success. Dattatreya's Akashvani debut was from Bombay in 1938, and soon after that he became a popular broadcaster. Besides his regular broadcasts from many stations of AIR, he participated in a large number of Radio Sangeet concerts, Radio Sangeet Sammelans, national programs, etc. Many AIR preserved his recordings. In 1945, the HMV Gramophone Company cut out his first disc, which was so well received that a large number of short 78 RPM records were cut after that, which are popular till date. Listen to one of his recordings.
Janak janakava more vidova 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 janak janakava more janak janaka more vidova janak Janakava more vidova janak janakava more vidova janakava more janak janakava more vidova janak janakava more janak janakava more vidova janak more vidova janak janakava 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 more vidova janak janakava more vidova janak janak more vidova janak janakava more vidova janak janaka more vidova janak janakava more vidova janak janakava more vidova badere kaise abu ore nidava madarava janak janakava more vidova janak he janakava janakava more vidova janakava
Except this, it was a matter of great honor that young Dattatreya was also invited to participate in many prestigious Carnatic Sangeet Sabhas in the south. One of such is worth mentioning. In 1953, he was invited to Madras to perform in Rasik Ranjani Sabha. It is also not less prestigious that he did playback singing in film Baiju Bawra, along with the famous Ustad Amir Khan, where both of them sang for Baiju Bawra and Tansen's role respectively. It was like a full-fledged khayal singing, and this enhanced his as well as classical music's popularity among the masses. Listen to this song. In 50s, he was selected by the Government of India to be a member of Cultural Delegation to the USSR. But he had to forego the honor because he did not want his old mother to bear his separation. Once again, in 1955, he was invited to be a member of Cultural Delegation to be sent to China. This time, anyhow, he and his mother agreed for the honor, and he presented in China. His sweet and melodious performance left everlasting impact in China. Professor B.R. Devdhar brought about a special issue of Sangeet Kala Vihar, a monthly music journal, on the success of this cultural delegation. His singing style. Dattatreya's singing style was basically of Gwalior Gharana, but he synthesized into it the bright features of other gharanas also, such as the rich variety of tans and boltans from Agra Atroli style. His voice modulation revealed the influence of Kirana Gharana. His singing was full of all the features that any khayal singer can have, like melodiousness, clarity in tans, expressions of emotions in singing, correct and clear voice production, and full controlled voice, which also reflected devotional expressions. These were the salient features in his singing. About his singing, Sushila Mishra, the prolific music writer, has mentioned in her book, Some Immortals of Hindustani Music, that on stage his pleasing countenance and gestures, known as Mukhvilas, his melodious voice, his gradual style of developing rags and bandishes, and his wide repertoire. All these factors combined to make Dattatreya as a most widely loved Hindustani classical musician. Although Dattatreya had very good command over all the rags and compositions, yet he always preferred to present popular and expensive rags and traditional bandishes. His favorite rags were Lalit, Todi, Asavri, Vibhas, Jaunpuri, Godsarang, Bhimplasi, Shri, Marwa, Yaman, Kedar, Hamir, Bhopali, Malkons, Kamod, Kannada, and Malhar, etc. In his concerts, D.V. Paluskar invariably included some bhajans of Mirabai, Surdas, Tulsidas, or some other saint poets, for which there was always a great demand. His bhajans, such as Raghupati Raghav Rajaram, Janaki Nath Sahai, Chalo Man Ganga Jamuna Tir, Payo Ji Maine Ram Ratan Dhan Payo, Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Aayi, etc., have almost become his monopolies, in the sense that people wish to hear these in his voice only. Listen to one of his bhajans.
जब जानक नाथ सहाय करे जब जानक नाथ सहाय करे तब कौन बिगाड़ करे नर तेरो जानक नाथ सहाय करे जब
Dattatreya was one of those rare musicians who rose to the fame while he was still in his 20s. This young devotee of music was snatched away by the ill fate at the peak of his career. He died on October 26, 1955, due to virus infection in the brain, when he was 34 only, leaving behind his young wife Usha and two small children, son Vasant Kumar and daughter Padmini. His heartbroken old mother Ramabai too died on December 13, 1957. Mohan Nadkarni, the famous writer, has mentioned in his book, The Great Masters, had he lived a full life, the Hindustani classical music scene could have been different today. Perhaps it would have been brighter, more elevating, more ennobling than it is at present. Sushila Mishra, in her book entitled Some Immortals of Hindustani Music, writes, "There was something so very appealing about his melodious singing and so lovable about his charming and disciplined personality that the world of music lovers still remember him and his music with a yearning that has not diminished with the passage of so many years." While concluding today's lecture, we can say that D.V. Paluskar, the worthy son of the worthy father, was one of those rare musicians who reached the peak of fame while still he was in 20s. In the very short lifespan of 34 years, he contributed a lot to the music world. Basically, though he belonged to Gwalior Gharana, yet he synthesized his singing style with the bright features of other gharanas also. His khayal singing and bhajan both enthralled the audiences, whether in concerts or in gramophone recordings. Although he reached the peaks of popularity in the very short lifespan, but rightly said, had he lived longer, the scene of Hindustani classical music would have been different. Thank you.